What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Lars in Conditioning. You have too many goals and you don't know how to achieve them. Let's figure this out together. Firstly, you need to write down your goals to help you visualize it. When you have too many goals all at once, it's easy to get lost in them and feel overwhelmed. You need to pick one goal and focus on that, and how you do that and how you figure out which one has the most value to you. Step number 1. Write down your goals. It doesn't matter what order they're in, you just need to write them down and know which goals you have so you can take a plan of action and how to reach them. Example of goals can be to lose weight, get friends, be more social, spend less time in video games. Once those goals are written down, the process of figuring out which one you should pick first begins, and thus you need to ask your right questions and be honest with yourself. Step number 2. Ask yourself, what makes this goal valuable to me? Do with each goal. I recommend that you write it down and save it so you can easily find it again in the future. Figuring out what value a goal brings to you if you were to reach it creates a clear visual of how it's important to you. This is a very important step in the process. When you have the answer to this, you can begin the next step. Do not rush this part and be clear on your answers from here. The clearer you are here, the easier you will make the following steps. Step number 3. Now that you know what makes each goal valuable to you, the next step is figuring out which goal is the most valuable, so which goal would bring you the most value. With the example of the goals in step 1, perhaps you notice a link between those goals. If you were to lose weight, get friends and be more social and spend less time in video games, notice how in the example of losing weight can help you get friends because you become more confident and happy. This attracts people. Being in shape makes people think you are more approachable, and getting friends leads to being more social, which in turn leads to spending less time on video games. Which means, with the example given, the goal that brings the most value is losing weight, because doing that will naturally lead to the other things. Step number 4. Now that you have the goal that brings the most value to you, it's in time to employ some strategy. You have your goal of losing weight, so you have got to get specific on one thing. Second thing is to make sure your goal is measurable, so since your goal is losing weight, you need to know how much weight you actually want to lose. In this example, let's say 15 kilos, this way you know when you have reached the finish line. Thirdly, thinking about what's achievable for you. Is it within the realm of possibilities with your abilities? If no, then you need to take a step back and reconsider. Fourthly, the goal needs to be relevant for you. With the example given earlier, it shows that the goal is relevant and how it's relevant. Fifth and final step, a timetable. You need to set up a certain amount of time off to be able to reach the goal. Let's say 15 kilos is achievable. How long should it take you? Example, let's say a year to lose 15 kilos. While this may seem slow, it will help you build the habits that you need to sustain the weight loss and sustain the weight after you have lost the weight. Reaching the goal isn't the only important thing. You also need to be able to sustain your efforts once the goal has been reached. Otherwise, your efforts will just be in vain. Reaching the goal is important. However, if you cannot sustain the efforts, you will find yourself back to be where you started, which is part of the reason why a realistic time frame is important. With the example of weight loss, you have likely seen or heard in media that people losing weight fast, however, you do not hear how they gain it back. In a lot of cases, people actually gain extra weight back, so they're not only back to square one, they actually put themselves back even further. Follow these steps. Be honest with yourself of your own ability, and you'll be able to reach your goals. Get after it. You can follow these steps no matter what goal you have. The weight loss is only an example of how these things can be used to actually achieve your goal. Thank you for watching. Share and subscribe. Lars in Conditioning. Signing out. Peace.